Have you ever met someone who just seems to know what to do, no matter how young they are? It's like they've unlocked a level of wisdom that most people take decades to get to. Ever wondered how they do it? What if I told you there's a hidden secret behind this kind of wisdom, and it's not what you think? Stick with me until the end, because the answer might just change the way you see wisdom forever. And trust me, you don't want to miss this. It could be a game changer for your life. And if you're loving the content so far, stay with me till the very end, because what I'll reveal could really make a difference, not just for you, but for this channel too. Your support means the world to us, and watching until the end helps keep this community going strong. So don't go anywhere, let's dive in! Let's start by looking at the brain. The prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for decision-making, problem-solving, and self-control, plays a huge role in our ability to act wisely. Studies show that this area of the brain doesn't fully mature until our mid-20s. But here's the interesting part. Some people's prefrontal cortex matures much earlier than others, and it allows them to think critically, make wise choices, and handle emotions effectively at a much younger age. This suggests that biological maturity has a direct impact on how wise we can be at different stages of life. It's why we often see teenagers or young adults who act more composed, logical, and empathetic than their peers. They may have a naturally more developed prefrontal cortex, allowing them to think and act with clarity and self-control, even when others might struggle. But it's not all about the brain, and that's where things get even more fascinating. While brain maturity is important, Islamic teachings give us a deeper understanding of wisdom that transcends mere cognitive development. Wisdom, or Hikmah, is not just about being able to think logically or make sound decisions based on experience. It's a divine gift, something that can be granted by Allah, far beyond what the brain alone can provide. The Quran illustrates this beautifully through the story of Luqman, a man known for his extraordinary wisdom, even though he was not the oldest or most experienced person around. In Surah Luqman, chapter 31, verse 12, Allah says, "And we had certainly given Luqman wisdom, saying, 'Be grateful to Allah, and whoever is grateful for the benefit of himself, and whoever denies his favor, then indeed Allah is free of need and praiseworthy.'" Here Allah doesn't just say that Luqman was wise, He specifically mentions that the wisdom was a gift. This implies that wisdom is not simply something one earns over time, but rather a divine blessing. And what makes this so significant is that Luqman's wisdom was not based on age or experience, but was instead a direct result of his relationship with Allah. This teaches us that wisdom goes beyond cognitive maturity. It involves spiritual awareness, humility, and gratitude. Now let's dive deeper into what wisdom really is, from both a scientific and spiritual perspective. In psychology, emotional intelligence, or EQ, is another key factor that defines wisdom. Emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize and understand your own emotions, the emotions of others, and to manage these emotions in a healthy way. Studies have shown that people with higher EQ tend to make better decisions, are more empathetic, and are able to navigate complex social situations with ease. Interestingly, these traits are often seen in people who are considered to be wise beyond their years. It's not just about being smart or experienced, it's about how well you understand and control your emotions. In fact, wisdom can be seen as a combination of intellect and emotional maturity. People who possess this kind of emotional intelligence tend to make wiser decisions because they understand not just the facts, but the feelings and consequences of their actions on others. Now here's where things get really interesting. Taqwa, the concept of God consciousness, plays a massive role in the wisdom that we see in certain individuals. Taqwa is the deep, spiritual awareness of Allah, which shapes how a person behaves and makes decisions. Those who live with Taqwa are not just thinking in terms of logic and emotion, they are thinking with the guidance of Allah's wisdom. In Surah Al-Tawbah, verse 71, Allah says, "The believing men and believing women are allies of one another. They enjoin what is right and forbid what is wrong and establish prayer and give zakah and obey Allah and His Messenger. Those will be given mercy by Allah. Indeed, Allah is exalted in might and wise." This verse highlights the connection between taqwa and wisdom. Those who are conscious of Allah are naturally inclined to act justly, make decisions that benefit others, and live with integrity. Wisdom, in this sense, is not just about intellect. It's about aligning one's actions with divine will and making choices that reflect a higher sense of morality and ethics. You might be thinking, that's all great, but how does this apply to me? Can anyone develop this kind of wisdom? The answer is yes, but it takes effort, reflection, and a deep commitment to spiritual growth. Developing Taqwa isn't something that happens overnight, it's a lifelong journey. But one way to cultivate wisdom in your life is through mindfulness, gratitude, and humility. When you actively practice these virtues, you allow yourself to be open to the guidance that comes from Allah, and you align your actions with wisdom that goes beyond mere logic or emotion. There's scientific evidence to support this. Studies show that people who practice gratitude and mindfulness tend to have a better sense of well-being, are more compassionate, and make more thoughtful decisions. The process of reflecting on your actions, being grateful for what you have, and seeking a higher purpose leads to greater emotional intelligence and ultimately, greater wisdom. This connection between spirituality and emotional intelligence creates a powerful force for making wise decisions. So, what can we learn from all this? Simply being smart, having life experience, or being emotionally intelligent isn't enough to make someone truly wise. The most profound wisdom comes from being deeply connected to your faith, living with purpose, and being guided by something bigger than yourself. That's when you can tap into a level of wisdom that goes beyond your years and circumstances. So, it's not just about being born with a wise brain or learning from your experiences. Wisdom also comes from a deeper place, your connection with Allah and your ongoing journey to live a life aligned with His teachings. When you have Taqwa, your wisdom grows naturally, guiding your actions and decisions in ways that transcend what the mind alone can comprehend. Now, after everything we've discussed, think about this. Have you ever made a decision that just felt right, even if it didn't seem logical at first? Maybe it was a time when your heart led the way, and even though everyone around you was unsure, you knew deep down that it was the right choice. That's wisdom at work, and sometimes, it's not just about what we think, it's about what we feel and believe in our hearts. Think about the moments in your life when you felt spiritually guided or connected to something bigger than yourself. Did those moments lead you to make decisions that, in hindsight, felt like divine wisdom was at play? Maybe you were facing a tough choice, but you felt calm and confident in your decision because you were acting with purpose, guided by your faith and higher values. That's the kind of wisdom I'm talking about. And I want to hear from you. Have you ever experienced a moment where you felt a deeper sense of understanding or guidance that made everything click? Was it because of your emotional intelligence, or did it come from a spiritual connection that guided you through? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to share any personal stories of when you felt this wisdom beyond years in your own life. Your story could help someone else gain insight into how they can also tap into their own wisdom. Here's the real twist. Wisdom isn't just something you're born with or something that comes automatically with age. It's something you can nurture, develop, and grow. And no, it's not just about intelligence or experience. It's about something even more profound, your connection to the divine. Imagine this. You could have all the cognitive abilities in the world, the emotional intelligence, and still miss out on the most profound wisdom if you don't have that spiritual connection guiding your actions. True wisdom comes from aligning yourself with a higher purpose, from living with Taqwa, and from making decisions based on values that transcend the material world. This is where things get mind-blowing. Studies and scientific research point to the fact that people who practice mindfulness, gratitude, and emotional intelligence tend to be more successful in making wise decisions. But when these practices are infused with spirituality, they take on an entirely new dimension. People who cultivate a deep connection with their faith make wiser decisions, not just for themselves but for everyone around them. It's a deeper kind of wisdom that's not taught in textbooks. It's the wisdom of listening to your heart, feeling a higher purpose, and letting divine guidance illuminate your path. So, next time you feel like you're at a crossroads, remember, you can tap into that wisdom if you choose to be connected to something greater than your mind. You don't have to have all the answers. Sometimes it's about trusting the process and letting that higher wisdom guide you. And this wisdom isn't just for the select few, you can develop it. Just like you train your mind and emotions, you can cultivate a deeper connection with your spirituality, and in doing so, unlock a wisdom that will carry you through every decision and challenge you face. So, now that we've explored all of this, I'd love to hear from you. How have you navigated your own path of wisdom? Have you felt that spiritual connection guiding you through life's decisions? Or perhaps you've noticed that wisdom coming from a place beyond just intellectual reasoning? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'm really curious to hear your experiences and how you've incorporated spiritual wisdom into your life's journey. And if this video resonated with you, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you don't miss any future content. Trust me, there's more coming your way. Content that will help you grow, tap into your own wisdom, and find deeper meaning in everyday decisions. If you want to continue the journey of growth and understanding, you'll want to be part of this community. So, take a moment today, reflect on what we've discussed, and tap into that wisdom you might have been overlooking. And until next time, remember, true wisdom is not about knowing everything. It's about understanding when to trust what you can't see and knowing what's right in your heart.